Do you read me over?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Going on here. Give me just a second. Check, check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Give me a thumbs up, Angel, if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that, Angel, for and my wife. I just confirmed it too. Maybe I just need to get a little closer to the microphone. Anyways, what I was saying is that you want to be able to basically, make sure that at the end of the day, you just want to get what you earn, God, body, mind, soul, and spirit by you giving up some time in the military. So, and these are your benefits. So, give us a call. Again, I'll show you how to do everything. The process is really easy, and if you're gonna get overseen on something that you were told no before, maybe this time you get compensated. Okay, and then I can show you how to properly invest that money. Again, this doesn't cost you anything. It's just something that I do for veterans. Uh, when I paying it back forward. Okay. All right, so that's pretty much on all the pleasantries. And also, by the way, if you like the show, you like what you listen, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. I know there's a lot of you on Facebook that listen to the show. If you can help me out and go on my YouTube channel and also just hit the follow button, it just helps the analytics. I do this completely free. And I don't believe me, I don't get compensated for any of this. This is just something that I do to help you guys and share information and sometimes just talk trash on the show. If you can help that support your local podcaster, please help me out. Or talk to Brian Coburn on Sitchradio.com. He's got plenty of other shows. And if you want to be a podcaster, by all means, hit him up. All right. So that's pretty much it. And last but not least, hey, the American Constitution, great document. Uh, First Amendment, Second Amendment, all that good stuff. So, we support all that and we can agree to disagree and go from there. So what I wanted to talk to you today is, and maybe those of you who are listening to our show, who've been around and had some tenures in some of the on some of the bases. Today, I want to talk about battle of the bases, and I guess you could say a little bit of battle of the branches. Who has the best bases as well? I guess I'm a little biased because I served for 20 plus years in the Marine Corps. And we'll talk about one of the bases over here. But so let's see. Base locations. You got Army, Fort Nowhere. Hey, Angel, give me a thumbs up if there's an actual base called Fort Nowhere. I didn't know that. Uh, uh, it's big, it's nice, I guess, but I guess it must be really remote in the middle of nowhere. So, uh, or for in the Marine Corps, we got Camp Pendleton. It's it's called some people call it Paradise. I don't know. If I was, I guess out of all the Marine Corps bases, that would be, here in the United States. Um, you know, oh, it's Fort Huachuca. Got it. I don't know. I don't know if I've heard of Fort Huachuca. I know Honolulu is another great army base, in my opinion. I guess we used to go there when I was part of Latimer Vehicle Reconnaissance Battalion. You guys call it in the army, they call strikers. We went to Honolulu up in Northern California. I thought that place was pretty cool. I mean, if you're into hunting, pig hunting, deer, whatever, I mean, I thought that was the place to be, and it was pretty cool. But it is in the middle of nowhere. It's on the I think on the 101 highway. So beautiful scenery though. Anyways, so for the Marines, you got Camp Pendleton versus 29 Palms. Hell no. I mean, that. Uh, I mean, between 29 Palms or Yuma, I'll take Yuma any day. But or Air Force, it's usually a city adjacent with palm trees and coffee shops. I wrote this today. And obviously the Coast Guard. I mean, Coast Guard is. I mean, I did a little bit of research, man. I mean, Coast Guard has got some pretty sweet bases, beach towns, and bears is what it says. Best kept secret. But man, so I've been. I will say, I mean, out of all the other armed services, the Air Force has got to have some really cool places. We'll talk about the chow and the dining facilities as well. But and let me see, Camp Pendleton. It wasn't too bad. I mean, Camp Pendleton was it's pretty good. I mean, you got some pretty good cities adjacent. You got Oceanside, which is right there in the coast. I mean, Camp Pendleton is it's a big freaking base. It's one of the biggest bases in the world. I mean, this thing is like over 50 square miles, and you can do a lot of crazy stuff as far as training and all that stuff. I mean, doesn't compare to 29 Palms, which is it's gigantous. I mean, you could do artillery. I mean, you could do it in Camp Pendleton, but you could do it. Extreme war exercise or tactical exercises at Camp Pendleton. 29 Palms, and hell, it's even adjacent to an off-road vehicle, dirt bike grounds and stuff. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Anyways, but the Navy's got some really cool ports. So ports, perks, sea duty, not so comfy. I mean, being on ship is, it all depends, how you see it. But it's one of those things that, like I didn't have the privilege or the pleasure to serve on ship, even though I almost did go on ship. My buddy Kyle, who lives in Texas, I know he did a couple of stints on ship. He could probably attest to that. But I mean, I've heard okay stories, but a lot of horror stories about ship and birthing issue. No, where you stay and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think I would give on this one. Maybe I will give it to the Air Force as far as base locations. I mean, maybe I might give it to the Air Force because I mean, they got bases in Italy. They got, I mean, all over west. In the Marine Corps. I mean, we just got here in the United States, and then overseas we got Okinawa, we got mainland Japan, um, which is Iwakuni, is one of them. If it For me, best kept secret, it was out of all the bases. I think Mount Fuji was pretty cool for me. Had an amazing, aside from the earthquake in 2011, which I was there for that. That shit was crazy. But I think I got to give it to the Air Force on this one. Maybe number two, Army, Coast Guard, obviously. Basically, Marine Corps is the last one. I mean, you know, on this one. But let's talk about barracks and housing. Obviously, and because I've seen it firsthand. I mean, Air Force is. I mean, they're all about taking care of personnel, amenities, comfort. I got to give it to them. I mean, they're it's pretty much dorm life. I mean, they've had Wi-Fi, uh, and even they even have room room service in the sense that they clean up they have a contract, people, people cleaning their room and all that stuff. Yes, they do. So it's pretty sweet. Um, with the army, it kind of varies here and there. Uh, you know, some barracks are kind of still old school, kind of like the Marine Corps, I guess. Uh, so you know, it kind of goes back and forth depending on the army. Washington has garbage barrack. Yes. Well, I mean, we're not here. I guess here we could compare a little bit, on that as well. But I mean, the Marine Corps is pretty much Spartan style. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Camp Pendleton. If you live in the Camp Horno, which means which literally translates from Spanish to oven, because it's kind of like in the valley. It gets hot as hell over there. I mean, that was we used to call that, no pun intended. I mean, pun intended, because back then there were no female. Those are infantry units, and no females were part of infantry. So we used to literally call that land of the hand. So you can fill in the gaps as to what that meant. And this is in Camp Pendleton, uh, close, yeah, for reals. I mean, Lord. If you read the book in high school, Lord of the Flies. I mean, literally Marine Corps. I mean, it's got. If we were to number one on not so on comfort or no comfort whatsoever, I would say the Marine Corps takes the cake. Obviously, the Navy, you got uh, depending where you're at. I mean, decent. I mean, you got ships, uh, coffins with sheets, I guess. Uh, to each its own. I mean, you join the branch. I mean, you join every. I mean, you get the whole cake and the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? Coast Guard is small, cozy. Uh, Sometimes with a converted lighthouse. That's true. I mean, here in Miami, I mean, literally Miami Beach. Right as you enter, you're about to on the. I think it's called the Rickenbacker Causeway. Basically, that highway that as you're driving and you see Star Island on one side, there is a Coast Guard that right as you enter Miami Beach, literally. I mean, you can Google it. I known a couple of people that have actually the pleasure of serving there. So it all depends, on the branch. So I guess to say who takes the cake as the worst, I would say Marine Corps. Although, as my tenure in the Marine Corps was ending, they, the hunt. construction contract took over, and they built some pretty sweet barracks. I mean, these things came with Wi-Fi, amazing amenities. You can check out game consoles, Xbox, PS, PlayStations. They had flat screen TVs. I mean, it was to basically, which I'm glad they did because it was an incentive to keep service members from going out of town and getting into trouble, DUIs, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it doesn't mean it prevented 100%, but the barrack situation has gotten better. I mean, hell, I mean, down in 32nd Station in San Diego, the Navy had some really cool barracks too as well. So I think it's gotten better on that aspect. All right, so I guess if we were to rank them, obviously Air Force would take the cake. Obviously, as with barracks life, they're all about that. I think Army would be second. It says Marines first and Navy. I don't know. I think uh, I would say Cozy. I would give it to a Coast Guard. I've heard some pretty good things about their barracks. So maybe Marines last, and then Navy up on top of that. I don't know. So I know, right? Wi-Fi. Calm down, everybody. Shit. But let's talk about food. I mean, everybody loves a good chow. Loves a good chow. Let me tell you, uh, when I deployed and in all my years, I mean, I've flown one. I've flown with the Air Force. Obviously, they take us everything. I mean, hell. I mean, even on a C-5, which is a gigantous friggin' airplane. You had a staff NCO, obviously the crew chief, and all that good stuff. I mean, they would even hand out these lunches and everything. I mean, it had some pretty good chow in there. But when we landed at an Air Force base, I mean, the first thing that everybody went to hit was their cafeteria. I mean, we call it chow hall as a whole, but we went to check out their dining facility because it is friggin' amazing. I mean, they roll out all the stops, and if you were obviously an officer, the officer section, that I mean, that was even better. I mean, but their dining facilities are off the charts. I mean, they had gourmet omelets, dessert bars, you know, that's yeah, and hey, the DFAC in Iraq too, the Camp Al Assad DFAC 4, that thing was freaking amazing. So, uh, huge shout out to whoever. I think it was uh, KB KBR was the one who won got that contract. But yeah, I mean they had an amazing. That was my Sunday treat. Go to DFAC 4 because everybody want to go there. So but I ate at DFAC 2 up by the operating base center. That was not bad. But let's see. Army's number two, functional, sometimes suspect, always filling. I mean, yeah. Actually, the army does have some pretty good chow as well. I'm not gonna. Marines, yeah, motivated by calories and not flavor. I think I mean, hey, we're just some dumb grunts, man. I mean, protein, meat, we're cavemen like food, Um, but the Navy does got some good galleys, man. I can't again. I can't necessarily. Man, if somebody here's on the show listening to this thing and you served on ship, how is the galley? Yeah, by all means, please feel free to chime in here, and let me know what it's like. Because again, all I've heard is just the stories that my friends have shared with me. Um, but and on the Coast Guard family style or fishing for dinner. Uh, you know, so I mean, I think with the dining facilities as well, and even the Marine Corps has gotten a lot better. I mean, I think we've gotten more centered around. Hey, you know what? The less, or maybe they want us they want us to stay disgruntled so we can just go out there, kick ass, take names. I don't know, but it just Marines look. Not only do we hate being miserable, but for whatever reason, we freaking embrace it because we used, in my last unit, I was with 11th Marines, and these are all just artillery guys. I mean, these people are next level. You think grunts are next level? These fucking guys would love going to the field and just, we like being miserable out in Camp Wilson in 29 Palms. It was just terrible, but but over the years, I think the child has gotten better. So yes, obviously, Air Force is going to take the cake. Obviously, they're going to win. I'm going to give it to them because I have partaken in their dining facilities many times, and I mean, it's always amazing. So, but I mean, I think the other ones are pretty much we're kind of I think would even keel, except if you're in minus camp if you ate chow at Camp Wilson, which is in the mid which is in the middle of nowhere in 29 Palms. I mean, if you're eating standing up on a plank of wood, your chow, you know what the hell I'm talking about. And don't get me started about when you have these haboobs, in other words, a sandstorm, and now your food is completely ruined, but you still eat that shit because that's the only hot meal before you push out again on some another field exercise. But anyways, but let's talk a little bit about perks and personalities. All right, gym. I think as a whole basis, gym life, entertainment, and weekend liberty. I think obviously in the Marines. I mean, we hated misery. We embraced the suck. I think. Well, you know what? All of us did. We all embraced the suck. Doesn't really matter. And then airmen hit the spot. I mean, yeah, Marine Corps. We 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 embrace the suck. NTC is that in Okinawa? Probably because I mean we got a Northern Training Facility (NTF) in Okinawa. That sucked over there, but and the airmen hit the spot. I mean, hey, go Air Force, right? Coasies they grill fish. Soldiers play flag football and sailors party in the port. You know what I'm saying? But when we used to go to the 32nd station down in San Diego, I mean that was pretty good. Back then. Let me tell you, here's how the times changed. And again, obviously I'm dating myself, but so the spots to be clubbing was down in Navy. We don't have any more good clubs like back in the day. So, going clubbing and all that good stuff. We used to go to down San Diego. I mean, and obviously from there you could go to the clubs in the city, in downtown. I mean, that was pretty cool stuff. Um, you know, I mean, it, the Marine Corps did have. I think I used to hear. I think when I got there in the early '90s, the one E club was down at Del Mar. It was like 3 4 clubs in one. We used to call that club Hook and Jab because people used to. I mean, the most amazing fights used to happen there. It was freaking amazing. Um, we used to, there was a white bus. Remember the school buses? There was a white bus, and this thing used to bring people, mainly girls, from the main gate to the club, and you had to sponsor them in. So girls were like, "Oh, would you sponsor me in? I'll buy you some drinks, whatever." So hey, if you brought them in, they would buy some guys, and then some of them would end up dancing with that person all night. But in this club, there was like countryside, R&B, techno side, whatever. I mean, it was like a whole bunch. It was like all these clubs into one. And sometimes, a fight will bleed from one side to the other. It was really cool. I mean, and you could, this one, where you could still smoke inside clubs. It was pretty neat. Some good times, and obviously then General Krulak came in and got rid of all the E clubs on the base, which I think I call that dark times in the Marine Corps. It friggin' sucked. And then as time changed on, they brought them back, but it just didn't bring the nice, cool stuff of the clubs in the early '90s. Um, what people used to get, stabbed in clubs. Holy shit! I mean, hey, I mean, I don't. I mean, the army, I guess, is taking it for being gangster because I mean, all we did was just fight. I mean, but nobody got stabbed in these things. But I guess with amenities, gym life, I don't know. I think it would be a pretty close draw. I know Marine Corps spends a lot of. That's one thing that us Marines loved. I mean, hey, go boom, no 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 no, and then we go live. I mean, I know they spent a lot of money. I mean, for a long time, even before the barracks were getting upgraded, uh, you know, the Marine Corps spending a lot of money on the gym, on the training facilities, the gyms, the field tracks. I mean everything. So I think as a whole on this one, I think it would be a pretty good, you know, even on all the armed services. I think we all want our service members to be fit and buff and all that good stuff. So on that aspect, I think I'll give it to them. I think to everybody as a whole. But with the other amenities, all that stuff. eh, Again, Marine Corps kind of coming it was kind of late at the game because I had been in bases, Army, Navy, and others where they had a lot of cool amenities. They're like, holy cow, these people are living it up. So Marine Corps was kind of catching up towards the tail end. But I was just at Camp Pendleton, as a matter of fact, the week before last, and a lot of things, a lot of good changes, for the positive. Barracks have been upgraded. Personnel, I mean, some of the old childs are still there, but what are you going to do? I mean, some things don't change. But as far as everything else, I mean, a lot of cool stuff. A lot of Marines have obviously they're spending a lot of money because you want to retain personnel. So to retain good personnel, then you gotta keep them happy. I mean that's what I believe. So you know, as a whole, every branch has their own quirks. Obviously, nothing is perfect. Because I could sit here and complain about the core all I want. I'm sure that some of you listening, I know Angel has you know horror stories about the army. My buddy Anthony, who's in Navy, has and as horror stories as well. And and this dude was a submariner. I mean, these dudes. I know a couple of submariners. I mean, people who lived on and not on ship, but underwater. I mean, those guys are next level. And he was saying, man, I had to sleep next to the fucking reactor type of shit. So again, it's okay, and we may talk trash about one another, but the rivalry, at the end of the day, it's all in good fun. So you serve, you suffer. That's kind of how it goes, right? Um, and then you tell, and then but you end up with some really cool stories for the rest of your life. Then I'm sure your kids are gonna be like, oh man, this story again. Or when you get together with your buddies, hey, remember that one time that blah blah. I was doing the same stuff with my buddy Freddie. Shout out to Freddie as well, who is in California. We got together. We were just talking about our deployments to Iraq, how we got to see the city of Babylon. I actually got to talk, and I just posted some of these photos on a group chat that I'm in. That looking back at my life, I just got done reading the book, "The Richest Man of Babylon" again, and it just got me thinking. I'm like, oh wow, I actually got to walk in the city of Babylon. So these are just some of the cool stories that you get to, you know, talk with your friends, for the rest of your life. And no matter what you base where you base home, that's what you made it home. You made the best out of it, right? So you know that's the cool thing about in my opinion, of us serving, that we can share stories about wherever we serve. Doesn't matter what branch or anything of the sort. So anyways, so I think it's a good a good place for us to kind of stop for this week. Anyways, hey, if you want to share your stories about your base, where you serve us stuff, you can throw it right there on the show comments. I'll respond to it, and we just go, hey, let's compare bases and what's your opinion? Why was your base the best? And tell me what some of the cool things that it had, so that way we can talk to everybody. All right. So, hey, look, if you've been ruminating, I know I didn't do this the last time I had the show, but if you've been having a hard time ruminating about bad things, or just you need somebody to talk to, please feel free to reach out to me in the show. Reach out to Military One Source, TRICARE, VA Suicide Hotline. But, we just don't want you to be a statistic and commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it, because that's you taking the easier way out. And those of us who stay behind, we're the ones with the burden and asking ourselves, the question of how can we have help? You know what I'm saying? So, but with that being said, everybody, hey, thanks so much for listening. Tune in next week. Please go to my other channels, support the show, support me on TikTok. Everything, all the links are right there on the show description, and we'll talk again. So, by the way, before I go, huge shout out to my daughter. She'll be graduating college um, this weekend. Yeah, we're all extremely proud of you. You did amazing hard work. It's and I know it's been a long time coming, and but you deserve it. So for me, I love you. We're all very proud once again, and so that's it. Isamas Daisuki. We'll see you next week, everybody. See you later. Yut. Thank you. Thank you, Angel. Bye bye.